Okay, so we have some new settings for the draw in, draw out. So I'm just going to demonstrate what all the different settings are and how to use this. So I'm going to just add some text here, and then we go over to the stroke animation and select the animated multicolor, and I'm just going to leave it on draw in and out, and then go in here and select these 4 colors and just go ahead and it's set to loop currently, and it's set to loop and edit. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Groove It button, and you'll notice that the default settings cause it to draw in and out pretty quick, really, and you'll see that it's drawing in one letter at a time. And so there's some new settings over here. So what you notice there is this is the draw-in speed, the line draw-in speed. And so if you set that, that's what's going to happen here is each line is going to draw in over the course of a half a second, and it's going to draw out at the same speed. So if you want it to go a little slower, you can just change that to 1. It'll draw in a little slower. Notice that it's now drawing in just a little slower. But for some, this is troublesome because if you have a couple of words, it's gone before you get to see the whole thing. So all you have to do to keep them from drawing in one at a time is change this next line start delay to 0. And once you do that, they all draw in together. Watch at the next revolution here. Okay, so see, now they're all drawing in at the same time, and they're going to all draw out at the same time. The next thing, this delay drawing, is just in case you want to have some other animations, like you wanted to do something else before it draws in. You can set this, and the animation won't start until whatever this delay is. Normally with a draw, you're not going to use that very often. It'd be rare that you would. So I'm going to go down here, line animation speed. That's the speed at which you see the colors going in revolutions around the letter, so, or the line, you'd say. So if you want it to go a little slower, if you set it to 2 seconds, for an example, you'll see that the animation itself is, as it goes around the letters, is a little slower. And you notice that it added a little to the timeline here when I did that. I'm going to collapse this down. Now I'm going to go ahead and change it to 3 seconds, and you'll see that it even goes slower and it takes longer. See how much slower it's going there, and it's gone to 13 seconds long. And all of this is a factor, everything affects everything else. So if you look at the number of animation loops, since we've slowed down the animation speed and we've reduced that to 1, basically what's going to happen is it's going to reduce the length of time because it's going to go around that many times before it draws out. So if it's only going to go around once or repeat 1 time, then it's going to go out, draw out a little quicker. It's 7 seconds instead of 13 or whatever it was. So now, so if I'm going to speed this back up to 0.5, have it draw in a little faster, you'll see that it reduces the time that it takes as well. Now it's 6.5 seconds or whatever. So the next line start delay, if I bump that up, you'll see them sort of stagger in. That's 1/10 of a second difference. Not much, but you'll see that it does kind of fly them in there. It's a different effect completely. So you can see all the different ways you can do this. Here's another thing, is you'll notice that they're drawing in with kind of I guess counterclockwise. Yeah. So if we reverse this, you'll see that they draw in clockwise. Look at there. So that's some of the settings. If I wanted all of these to draw in, if you like the way that it draws in 1 letter at a time, but it draws out too quick, then what you'd want to do is increase the number of animation loops, and then it would extend it. So let me just give you an example. So let's say we wanted to draw in at a half a second. If you'll set this next line start delay for pretty much the same time as the line draw speed, then this one will finish drawing in, and then the next one will start. So it cascades them, it staggers them in, but actually cascades them in, and you'll see 1, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. And if you want even more space, you can do that too. You just increase that to say 6. So it sort of brings them in, you know. In fact, if you want to, like, we could increase this to 2 number of animation loops, and make it wait a second before they draw in. And because the speed is so slow, I'm going to increase that to 1 second, so it doesn't take so long to demonstrate this. So there you go. That's kind of now you notice they're drawing out before the word finishes. So let's increase the number of loops to say 5. That'll give it a little more time. You just have to play with these settings until you get the animation that you like. Now it's still doing that, so I'm going to bump it all the way up to 10 times. It's going to pretty much double what we had. So they all get to draw in, and you get to see the whole word before they draw out. Now you'll see them start to draw out. So there you go. Those are the settings for the draw in and out animated multicolor on stroke animation.